Action, cameras. Hello. Good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Elders Wisdom with Juliet Yelverton, my glorious co-presenter
and
organizer and file holder and agenda setter, amazing extraordinaire. And I'm Marion.
So Marion, how would you introduce yourself?
I used to program computers, now I deprogram people. And I'm top of the list.
You deprogram them. How do you set about deprogramming people? What's your secret for that?
Consciousness, awareness, good listening, waiting, patience, allowing things to reveal themselves.
Yeah.
The tools are, when you see something clearly, you see a pattern or an expression of a pattern. The more you do the work, the more you just intuitively know what question to ask or what process to do or to say nothing and wait. There's just so many different ways to deprogram us. It's amazing tools. I love kinesiology, is one of my favorites. That's my detective work.
Yeah.
And then tapping is another favorite, which is a reorganization of the charge, the electrical charge through the nervous system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Magic. And yoga and breathing and all the magic that comes with that as well.
Yeah, it's breaking up the patterning, isn't it? In a way.
Well, the first thing is to become aware of the pattern, because once you can see the pattern, you're no longer identified with it. And that's quite a big step, because our protective parts keep coming into our patterns and go, yeah, but. You have to give the yeah but for a while, don't you?
So but we're not live on Facebook, or maybe we are, and I'm just checking, I'm just pausing our very interesting conversation here, because we need to know what's happening. Nothing appears to be happening. Where's all our fan club this weekend then?
Even I can see a comment, Julia.
Even I didn't have the comments turned on. Okay, but. Okay.
I've always been like that. Yeah, but the world's a scary place. I'm a victim. Yeah, but I can't do anything about it. Yeah, but all that stuff.
Well, that's the issue. That's the issue, isn't it? So we have Debbie here. Good evening, lady, she says.
I ain't no lady. I'm all woman.
Well, she said we were pussies last week.
Oh, my goodness.
And now, lovelies.
Lovelies, that I like that.
Oh, she says, I hope you haven't missed much. We were on the dot this evening. Debbie, oh my God. If we were on the dot, that was amazing, because I have had such a day. A totally beautiful souls. Good evening, beautiful souls from Jack. Oh, that's very nice.
Hello, Debbie. Hello, Jack.
Yes, I mean, I've rushed round just before we went live, Debbie. Just before we went live, I went into the kitchen to pour my cup of tea, and I looked around and I was amazed at myself that there was a semblance of order in the kitchen, considering all the crazy stuff that I've been dashing around doing all day. It's been absolutely manic. So you didn't miss much, but Marion gave a lovely introduction, and then she was telling us how she deprograms people. So, and Debbie says, hello, dear Marion, too.
Hello.
So Marion's talking about deprogramming and things that break the pattern. And the thing is, we're all programmed, aren't we? We've all been.
Yeah. We couldn't survive if we weren't. We are programmable. The brain it learns things. But it's about understanding what's been learned that no longer serves, and then that's where you can dig down into where it's a belief, not a truth, or where it's a shock or a trauma that's got stuck somewhere in its process.
Yeah. So it's quite interesting, because tonight I wanted to show Kathy O'Brien speaking at the Ohio Freedom Rally. And we'll come to that in a little bit. But you know Kathy O'Brien, don't you?
She's our hero. She's overcome adversity, hasn't she?
Yeah, she woke me up a lot when I mean, she didn't wake me up, but I'd already looked at lots of things. But then when I read her book, it's like, my
She
God,
joins all the dots, doesn't she?
yeah, she joins all the dots.
Especially from the MK Ultra and the mind control and all the trauma and the programming.
Yeah, absolutely. And so she's exposing the deep underbelly of everything that's going on, and how that is still playing out, and how the whole COVID stuff is a continuation of what happened to her. So we'll come to her in a minute. So that's interesting on programming. But I also saw a little clip yesterday of this guy illustrating programming. He had a lint cleaner, you know, one of those ball roller things that catches the lint. You rub them over
Sticky things.
sticky things. And he decided, just for a bit of fun at the start of the whole pandemic thing, to stand outside a store. And he was just doing this. He was sticking his arms out, you know, sticking his arms out to people, and then pointing the lint thing at them, pretending it was a scanner. And every single person that came up the steps, without question, as he did that, they did that. They stuck their arms out, and they let him with this lint cleaner scan them. Nobody was questioning. Nobody.
No.
It's crazy, and this is how we get
Programmed docility, isn't it? Docile, victim, powerless, afraid, so you can't think critically.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing we've talked a lot about, how through the media, the mainstream media that's owned by Bill Gates, he puts the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that puts the largest sums of money forward towards the BBC, etc., and all the media, all the corporate media worldwide, that they're the mouthpiece of the people creating the mind control. So as long as you're watching this media or listening to it,
the same. It's exactly the same theatre company, isn't it? Putting on the whole show.
you cannot get free of it, because it becomes your total reality. So now we are taking down the media. It's like the scenery is coming down all around us.
Wizard of Oz moments.
Wizard of Oz. And Kathy O'Brien is talking at the Ohio Freedom Rally, saying, okay, well, it sounds like everything is really terrible at this moment. There's so much in your face. There's so much horror. And you said that to me. You texted me earlier. It's like, oh my God, there's so much going on. It's hard to know what we should be talking about. Is there any good news? Is there any good news? Because it's slap from every side, that there's so many horrific things.
I think it's important, even when we talk about the problems and the issues and the darkness, there has to be something good out of each piece. What can we do differently, or how can we be differently? How can we respond differently? How can we feel differently? Because the shit's going to keep coming unless we do something. And if we don't look at what to do instead, then we're not going to be able to channel our energy. It's all of our energy is there for defense mechanisms, isn't it, rather than creation and innovation.
That's right. Once you get this piece that it's all fake, and you're not put into a,
then you can make your own fake life come real, and it's great.
But then you're not triggered into this fear reaction and automatically doing what they.
It's like when people talk about the politics and the when they all vote and all that kind of stuff. They're all puppets. There's no power in that level of the population, regardless of what they think, regardless of what the media says. There's just no power there. So again, I don't get too upset about political shit, because it is to me, it's a well-revealed part of the theatrical setup anyway.
Yeah. And Kathy O'Brien is saying, like, we're seeing all this stuff now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean to say that things are worse. Actually, things are better, because we're seeing it, because we are waking up and we're actually witnessing this.
And we keep wrecking their plans. We keep completely, when the big ball comes in and smashes things, like the meme lords, the meme-tastic gangs who create quick videos or posters about every new drama that they try and introduce into the news. Like when what did Trump say? Something, blood's going to be a bloodbath. And they were all going, oh my God, he said the word bloodbath. He's threatening us with a bloodbath. And then within 10 minutes, the meme lords were putting out videos where everybody on the news and everybody in the White House was saying bloodbath, 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 bloodbath. It was great. So by doing things like that, they're having to throw more shit at us. So there is more shit out there, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not sticking, is it? It's not sticking. So Debbie says, exactly, Marion, what's been learned that no longer serves. I'm in the middle of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and things are getting worse with me with the health thing, and I want to get to the root of it.
Well, I would say CBT is an excellent tool to accompany other skills that are needed, like being trauma informed. And most CBT is not trauma informed, and it can re-traumatize. So it can be really fucking dangerous, and it's been totally promoted, hasn't it, out there as a really great safe thing. But if you know about this much more than I do, Juliet, but the way that medical treatment or different interventions completely ignores what's known about trauma and trauma. The need to be trauma informed is
right.
To be all in the mainstream, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So Debbie, the CBT is what is about the only thing that the doctors will offer you if you have complex symptoms and PTSD and so on. They believe that that's the answer. But CBT is a mental thing, and there is trauma is held in the primitive part of the brain, and there's no connection from the frontal cortex back to the primitive part of the brain that's controlling the behavior. So actually just doing mental activity is not going to change anything. You need to work somatically through the senses, through the vagus nerve, through what you can sense. That is what you can smell, what you can see, what you can touch, what you can taste. And that has a direct impact back to the primitive brain. So I believe, Debbie, you did say you had a copy of my book. If not, let me know. And in my book, I talk about somatic experiencing, which is working directly with the primitive brain and turning off the activation. So that's where you need to be, what you need to be focusing on. You can do that alongside the CBT, but you need to have sensory awareness at the same time going on. So
it's like with yoga, we look at the body. The body has got, they call it 5 koshas, 5 sheaths, or 5 envelopes, or 5 parts. And it's the physical, the energetic, the mental, the intellect, and then the spiritual, which you can sometimes say is the emotions are all sort of all the way through it. But if you're not addressing all 5 aspects of being, then you're potentially overburdening one aspect, which will throw the others even more out of balance. So what Juliet's just saying is this mental work, this trying to behave differently through mental processing, rather than through discovering how the body can behave differently because of a process that the body is wanting to express. Then we have to bring them both together. We have to get the mind working with CBT, but also the body awareness up to trust the CBT and to allow the pathways without any kind of stress or trauma getting in the way to block things and keep things out of whack.
Yeah, so it's being in that window of tolerance, not getting into a reactive state.
Yeah, so that's the best bit of the book, actually, to start looking at, because that window of tolerance with CBT would be brilliant, actually, wouldn't it? Because you can see where if you get overly charged, there's no point continuing to do the work. You need to bring your nervous system back into the nice state where things open and flow.
Yeah. Okay. So I love that she says, I love the gentle guy who I do CBT with, and he addresses trauma.
Lovely.
I'm reading your book. So if anything, Debbie, that gentle guy is the main help, not so much the CBT, because it's his soothing presence. It's keeping you calm.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, symptoms often get worse when we start addressing the underlying emotional, the spiritual, and activated content that's been lightly. It's sort of, the symptoms are dormant while stress is really high, because the stress is using all the energy. And as you start to rebalance the stresses in the body, the energy can then go to do the healing. And in healing is where symptoms happen. Inflammation is a healing symptom. If you cut yourself, it gets a bit swollen before it heals. So that is the basis of inflammation. And then they go all out to try and stop it with medicines, which just actually slows the healing down or reverses the healing process.
Because you're
Feel
suppressed.
shit when there's inflammation, don't you?
So it is a healing process. What we're seeing on the planet now with so much shit everywhere, in a sense, is a planetary healing process, because all the shit is coming out.
Yeah.
So that's a necessary step to healing. So
that's nice to know though, Deb, that you've got someone nice to work with as well, because that just the idea that you use the word nice, gentle, that's lovely, isn't it? That soothing energy.
Yeah. So that's what we need. It's that connection, that soothing, gentle connection, which is why it was so diabolical what they did with the whole pandemic thing, when they said they're 6 foot apart and separate people into their households, so you didn't see your loved ones. I mean, it was absolutely evil and diabolical, and in itself did so much harm to people. So we need those connections. So what are we going to talk about tonight? I mean, we are talking, but we've also got quite a number of little clips of different things. We've got Andrew Bridgen.
Andrew's been active. Is it today? And is there something going on? He's busy, isn't he, right now?
Is he going on today?
He spoke today, didn't he? He's quite busy at the moment.
Yeah, he spoke. So we're still fighting back against the pandemic preparedness treaty. That they're pushing that, and I think
pandemic is absolutely what it is. It does what it says on the tin, isn't it? Pandemic preparedness treaty.
Yeah, put aside, created by Ted Ross.
I'm going to plan the next one. Yay!
Ted Ross, the head of the World Health Organization. So they're trying to create one world government. We're all under the control. And Andrew Bridgen says if we sign up to this, we are completely lost, because there's no legal way of ever getting out of it. And they've already captured
all the statutes on basic human rights, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a lot, but I thought it might be interesting to see who this Ted Ross guy is that the world is signing up their power to. Would you like to see him?